sei se é a minha internet que tá lenta, se eu tô tomando um bloco aqui pela minha rede interna. Acho que agora deu certo. Ó, deu certo. Hello, people from YouTube. Morning, YouTube. Today we stay here with Andrea, Genemis, and William. And the topic today it's about the small big city. Before I start with this immersion, I need to introduce myself and uh, explain a little who the form of the talk works. My name is Katiana. I live in Vitória, Espírito Santo. I'm 41 years old. I'm engineer. I work on the oil and gas sector, in the ESG area with new projects. I'm here like a host for stay with the other talks and help with other things during the immersions. By my focus on talk, it's similar with the other talkers because I stay here because I need to improve my skills in English, mainly conversation because it's important in my job. In the it's a good space for improve your skills in English, conversation, and other things. Yeah, here we don't have a big rules, but it's important to respect each other during the immersion. Have space for everyone. Explain about their opinion about the topic and other things. Here we have other languages for improve our skills like Spanish, Italian, Mandarin, French, and other languages. And I think it's these a little things about the talk. The topic hoje it's a good. The topic today is a good topic. It's about a big city or a small town, and it's interesting because everyone have a different sometimes have a different thoughts about living in this different spaces. But before I start with the question, Andrea, please introduce yourself for us.
Yes, good morning, guys. My name is Andrea. I am an administrative assistant in a Japanese restaurant. I've been working there since 2017. I am married. I don't have kids. I don't have pets as well. I wish I could have one, but sometimes I cannot take care of myself properly. Imagine taking care about a pet. What else? In my free time, I like listening to music, drink wine, cooking, and studying English because it's a kind of addiction for me. That's it.
Thank you, Andrea. And you, Janelle?
Good morning, everyone. My name is James. I'm a software engineer, and I live in Cajazeiras, Paraíba. I'm married. I have 3 kids, and my free time, I like spend my time with my kids, play music, and read my books.
Thank you, Janemis. Luria, please introduce yourself for us.
Yes, I'm Luria. I live in Belo Horizonte. I'm 34 years old. I have two dogs, Tobias and Luna, but I don't have kids. And I don't know if I will have. I think it's beautiful, but I don't know. The life is so hard to think about that now. So we see. I think this weekend I will celebrate the birthday of my goddaughter. She will turn 15 years old. So it's a big age, right? 15 for a woman, right? She's so exciting about to turn 15. And we will do like a kind of party for her, like build like a lot of balloons, a lot of things to celebrate, eat, be with family. So I think it would be nice. And that's it. Thank you.
Nice. 15, it's a good age. Now it is time for start with the questions. About the question number 1. Do you prefer living in a small town or a big city, and why? I start with you, Genemis. In this moment, you living in a small city or a small town or a big city, and why?
I live in a small town because I was born here, and I have a great network in my city. Network is about my family. I have a great network for help me, network for help me with my child's, and I can help my father, because my father and my parents, because it's older, and I prefer stay here because I work remotely, and it's a great facility for stay here.
I agree with you, Genemis. I grew up in a small town. It's totally different. Everyone know about you, about your parents, who is your father, is your mother. The relationship is totally different. I think we have a connection. I love Vitória. Vitória, for me, Vitória it's not a big city because Vitória, if you know Vitória, Vitória, it's a small city. It's not big like São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, but uh, here it's possible for you go to a restaurant or a pharmacy and other things with a bicycle. For me, I love Victoria because of this, because it's small. I don't imagine my family living in São Paulo, for example. When I work worked on São Paulo for 3 months, I remember it's a bad time in my life, because I remember when I go to the office, it's almost 2 hours every day, and when return more 2 hours in medio of the chaotic traffic. It's not life for me. It's because my reality is go to the office with a bicycle, with 10 minutes. With a car, it's probably 20, 25. For me, I think we in a small town is possible for you living better the life for me. And Vitória, it's not like a countryside, uma cidade do interior, but it's small. But for me, it's not possible compare. And for you, Andrea, because Santos, for me, I think Santos is bigger. I have colleagues and work from Santos, because in the oil and gas it's so common the people move on for Santos, because we have a big operation of the oil and gas in the city. And what do you
Yes.
think? You love Santos, or you in the future you're looking for a small town?
Yeah, actually, I work in Santos, but I live in Guarujá, near Santos, another city. In Guarujá, it's a little small, but I don't consider a small city, We can say maybe a medium size, Even as Santos, it's bigger than Guarujá. Santos has more opportunity than Guarujá, because we have how can I say, cais, I said Porto here. So there are more opportunities about job. But I like living here. I've been living here since I was 7 years old. So I consider myself a Guarujaense, I was born in São Bernardo do Campo, a big city, but I have never had the opportunity to stay there for a long time. I was a kid, so I don't know anything. I started studying here in Guarujá, and I don't think about move, to other city. I like to live in here, even though we have our pros and cons, because Guarujá is a touristic city, and for example, summer, it's terrible because a lot of people, the traffic jam, and the city don't have so much structure, to support a lot of people. So it became a chaos, but I like to live here.
Nice, nice. And you, Luria, do you prefer living in a small town or a big city?
I live in Belo Horizonte, that is the capital, and I need to say, like, I like to have a lot of things to do, shoppings, malls. I like to go to the stores, to have a bookstore, to have a festivals, to go. So to have this kind of life, you need to live close to a city that you have more structure, like Belo Horizonte or São Paulo. Or Rio de Janeiro too, but Rio de Janeiro, I don't like I don't think it's safe, and no place is safe nowadays. But yes, small cities I like to relax, to spend time to when I'm in vacation. Let's to go to a small city, but to live, to have to have all the things that I need. I really prefer to live in the big one. Andrea said about Santos. Once I was thinking to move for a beach, a city that we have a beach. And I was considered like Santos because it's a big city and we have a beach, or Vitória. Vitória, or I forgot the other name of the city next to Vitória.
Vila Velha
Vila
or
Velha.
Paraty.
We exactly. And I remember that I chose this because I don't want like a small beach, like to go to an island, just to live far from. No, I want a beach, but I want to have the opportunity to go to the cinema, to visit uh, stores, to have a museum, to have other things to do. I want the combo. I don't want just one thing. So for me, I don't like traffic. So I think I will never live in São Paulo, for example. My friend lives there, but she lives in Morumbi, which is a rich neighborhood, right? And she said, Luria, to live here, you need to live, think that Morumbi, it's the city, So you need to do everything around here. You don't go in the other parts of the city frequently, like normally, So just because of that, because if you need to across the city every day to go to work, to do other things, I think you just give up. So, and I think I prefer like not big, like big metropole like São Paulo, but big cities that we can have the structure to do a lot of things, to have a lot of activities. This is my preference. That's it.
Nice, Luna. Agora, now about the question number 2. What are some advantages of living in a small town? Can you think of any disadvantages? I start with you, Janemes. Advantages and disadvantages of living in a small town.
Okay, the advantage because all things is near by my house and the school of my kids. My work and not because I work in my home, but the therapeutic process for my kids too is very very near, and the football of my son is near, and I don't lost time in the traffic. I don't lost time for the carry or go back from my house. It's easy, and my city is safe. We don't have robberies, and it's a great advantage for compare the big cities. And I hated the traffic. Lost time the traffic. The holidays, my vacancies. We go to the João Pessoa because my sister live in this city, and it's so good because we uh, we can go to the beach with the kids, and they like a lot. But the traffic is hard. It's like spend time in traffic.
Thank you, Janemes. And you, Andrea, what are some advantages of living in a small town, and can you think of any disadvantages?
Yes, I think the advantage to living in a small town mainly can be the sense of community that you have. You know, people, I believe that people likes to help each other. You can find it in a small town because um, everybody knows everybody, you know. Also more tranquility, I believe. Um, what else? Maybe you don't have so much traffic, you know, you don't need to concern so much about that. And disadvantages can be the lack of opportunity, job opportunities, you know. Uh, Maybe you will not find so much attractions to go, like, I don't know, maybe cinema or shopping mall, some kind of concerts, you know, that just happen in a big city. And something that I was thinking as well about advantage is like can be safer than the big one, you know. So it's a good point to thinking about. This week I was talking in another immersion with a guy that lives, I don't remember the name of the city, but it is in Minas Gerais. And he said that his community is so small, his city, that everybody knows everybody, you know, and it's so safer. He can walk on the street with his cell phone, you know, with any problem. And I thought, oh my gosh, I want to live there, you know. But at the same time, I think about the things that we like to do, going to shopping mall. And in this city, don't have a shopping mall, don't have McDonald's. So it can be a kind of disadvantage, you know, because, but it's safer. I believe that it's good because of that.
It's interesting. I think the health part of my life, I live in a small town. And for me, the advantage is about community. I remember, for example, when my father had cancer, and I remember in that time, oh, it's a bad time. It's a bad time. But I remember the sense of community. Everyone spoke with me. And when my father died, for example, uh, I received a love and things with a different person. Then I don't remember who is the person, but everyone know about the disease of my father, the difficult period of with a disease with cancer, and it's interesting because everyone know about everyone, the families know about other family. For me, it's a kind of advantage, but for the other hand, For example, I remember when my family, quando a gente descobriu a doença, it's so difficult because in a small town we don't have a resource, recursos for do the things. My father need to go to Victoria and do the chemotherapy and radiotherapy, travel a lot between the two cities because it's almost 2 hours from Victoria. And we have this kind of difficulty because every small town don't have a support and a good hospital for these things. And other kind of disadvantages for me, it's with a job. We don't have a big companies. I remember when I finished my college, I go to another cities looking for a job, and because in my city we don't have this kind of opportunity. And we have a good things for one hand, but for the other hand, we have sometimes difficulty with other things. And for you,
Yeah.
Lurian, about the question number 2.
I agree about what everyone said. I think the sense of community is the biggest thing for me and is safer when you compare with the big cities, right? Like all the time, my friends that live in Rio and São Paulo, they said bad things for me, that's not safe, that something happened. So I think we need to choose what is makes sense for you right now. Like I work from home now, so traffic doesn't bother me a lot like before. But when I used to work in the office, I need to go to work every day. I spend sometimes like 2, 3 hours to go, and after 2, 3 hours to come back. So it was really, really, really bad. So for sure that if I need to have this routine again, I will not choose to live in a big city that I know we have a lot of traffic. Um, I think I like to have some entertainment to do, right? Like I like concerts, I like festivals. I like to have things to do in general. So I was speaking about small cities that we have more structure, like Santos, that in 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, you can go in São Paulo because of that. Because maybe you can choose a something that in the middle, like that you don't be in the big one, but you are not in too small. Always I think if you are living in too small, like you have a lack of if you need to go to an emergency, to the hospital, maybe you need to spend more time to go. And if it's a urgence, maybe can be hard. It's depend of how how uh, how the urgency is, how deep, how I forgot the word in Portuguese. But so for me, we need to balance the advantages and the inadvantages, right? To but safe and a more quality time, more quality life for me is the most important. That's it.
About the question number 3. In what ways do you think life in a big city is different from life in a small town? I start with this question. For me, Vitória is a small town now. For me, for example, I start my day, it's almost the days I go to the beach and do a sport. I love canoa havaiana. And after this, I go to, I return to my house. It's possible go to with a bicycle. In Vitória, it's interesting because we have a public policy here about mobility. It's interesting. After research on Google, this I don't remember. I don't remember prefeito in English, but this prefeito put a big thing, botou uma super meta que era mobilidade na cidade. And it's so interesting because now it's possible you move on from the city with a bicycle. And now it's interesting because it's possible for you go, Mayor, or thank you, Laura, Mayor. You go and don't use car. For me, for me, this kind of things I love because it's so interesting. Because if you need to use a car for everything, you need to it's not nice. I think the traffic is a kind of thing who make everyone very nervous in the day. And for me, this kind of things, the simplicity things, we use the bicycle for do a sport in the morning, or go to a supermarket walking, or go to a bakery walking. It's not it's simple, but it make the difference in your day. For me, I think if I don't live in Victoria, I looking for other city with this similarity. Do the simple things and move on from the city more easily. For me, it's a big advantage and big difference with a small town because, for example, I remember I stayed on Rio de Janeiro 3 months ago, and one go to one point to another point with a Uber. I remember it's so expensive. Here, no, it's more, it's cheaper, it's possible for everyone. It's because Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, it's more bigger. What do you think about this question, André, about the question number 3?
Yes, I agree with you. And I was thinking, for example, here in Guarujá, in Santos, we see a lot of people using bicycle to go to work. It's easier because we don't have to ups and downs so much. So I believe that it can save time as well. You know, you don't need to be in a traffic. The quality of life is different, of course, because we have a beach, so it's possible to wake up early and go to the beach to do some activities, some exercise, or even to walk on the beach, you know. What else? In big city, people are always in a hurry. It's like a crazy people, you know, I consider like that, but I understand because imagine you need to do a lot of things and don't have so much time because maybe people spend 2 or more than that hours to commute, you know, to go to their jobs. And so that people are always in a hurry in a bigger city. But at the same time, I don't know, I'm thinking about we have more things to do in a big city as well, you know. Here in Santos and Guarujá, I consider that we just have beats. If I want to do something different, I need to go to São Paulo for go to a theater. We have here, but things, the biggest events happens in the big cities, you know. But for the quality of life, small towns it's better than big ones.
Thank you, Andrea. And Janemis, about the question number 3. In what ways do you think life life in a big city? It's different from a small town.
Okay, the big cities have more opportunities for work, for studying big universities. and the small city is most calm, and the in my opinion, the quality of life is more balanced in the small town than big cities because it don't have a traffic, it don't have the dangers about security, and it's these are great points for maintain your mental health, maintain your quality life, and it's more good. But the more opportunities, the great opportunities, the best opportunities have it in the big cities. It's a great fact. And in my case, I prefer a small town, but I I need to go big cities eventually for participate to congress or events and visit my company too. And well, that's it.
I agree with you, James. The big salaries stay on the big cities. In my case, for example, it's the for engineers, it's not possible. It's it's possible, but no. For example, the big salaries, for example, in the oil and gas, it's São Paulo, in Santos, and because there we have a like André said, the Porto, the big platforms there. There it's a lot of money. It's a good salaries, a good job. But I think it's depend because one point it's interesting. It's about the cost of living in these cities. For example, now the costs of living in Vitória it's not similar with 10 years ago because here now it's so expensive for living. Vitória stay in a cities who it's improve the cost of living. But 10 years ago is totally different. But it's different if you receive a quantity of money for living in São Paulo and living, for example, in a small town. Because in São Paulo, the costs of uh, with food, with go to the cinema is totally different. No, you receive more, but probably your cost is more expensive too. But it's interesting, and
Yeah.
look, no, it's different.
In my area, the great salaries it's in São Paulo too, because the great companies go to the hybrid or on-site model, like Uber, Nubank, and the great salaries, but in my case, não compensa. In my city, I have a good life with 10,000 reais. And I have three kids. Three kids for studying in São Paulo is 10,000 reais. And I don't have more the level of life in the great city, big city.
I totally agree with you, Janemis, because sometimes, and for you, it's interesting in IT area because it's possible for you working in a different companies around the world. In the engineer,
Yeah.
sometimes it's different for us. Sometimes we need to stay on the office, on the factories, and we need to move on. And
Yeah.
I totally agree with you because when you have kids, the cost of life is totally different. Totally different.
It's different. And right now I study English for maintain my home office forever.
The home office, it's a dream. I love. my plans it's to stay in home office forever too, because it's a quality of life.
Yeah.
Thank you, Janet. And you, Luria? And about the question number 3, in what ways do you think life in a big city is different from life in a small town?
Yes, in my, I will say something about my routine actually, because we change a lot all the time. And now for me, makes sense to live not a big, but in a big city, because of my what I can have for diversity, cultural things. I'm a person that I love to go out. I love. I like to go to out with my friends. I like to go out with my boyfriend, and for me, this is really important to have this kind of structure, to have different things to do, like some kind of like I said before, festivals, or just nightclubs, or something like that. Have different restaurants to go, uh, or maybe if the city receives something from out, from the other places, no, like parks, like attractions. So this is really important for me. And we are saying about the jobs opportunities, and I agree. I work from home nowadays, but it was hard to find this job because a lot of companies, they are um coming back to work in the office. And I remember that I was thinking maybe if I can live in São Paulo because of that, because we have more opportunities there, and for sure. But after I found a job in a home office, and I can work now from my home, and I think I just give up, to go to São Paulo because of that. But the different for me is this: is the opportunity to work, the diversity of things we can do, and the small cities is more for, if you adapt to this kind of life, I think can be the best for you. But since for me now, and my routine, the way I like to have fun, to do the things around me, this is, and I need to have a salary to to do that. I really think to have the opportunities to do many things is really nice. And the cost of life of Belo Horizonte is getting bigger too, when you compare with the other 10 years ago. Like and this is something that always I try to avoid about big places, because always is more expensive than the small ones. It's so simple when I take a vacation, and I spend sometimes in a small place, that I can go to a small shop, like here we say mercearia, right? Uh, and I can go there and buy something, and it's really cheap, because they don't have the inflection price about big cities. But it's a choice, like I said. Nowadays, makes sense for me living in a big one, in a capital, because of that. But maybe in 10 years, if my life change, my priorities change, I can move. Always, I think we can adapt and think about what is the best option choice for us in the moment. So that's it.
Thank you, Luria. Guys, I do a mess with the number of the question, and I reorganize the number of the question I put again on the chat. I don't know what I do, but I do a mess with the questions. And About the question, we spoke about the sense of community in the middle of the other question, that I think it's not necessary with this question, but the question number five. What are some cultural opportunities and events that are common in the big cities? Are there any similar opportunities in small towns? For me, no. For example, the big concert, the big, I love rock, for example, and the big opportunities in the cultural events in this area, it's in São Paulo, in Rio de Janeiro. In Vitória, it's not common. In Vitória, it's common. The people here love sertanejo, and sometimes pagode and other things. We don't have a big shows here, and it's this opportunities with events is totally different, guys. In Vitória, it's totally different. And for me, in a big city, we have more opportunities. And for you, Andrea?
Yes, I totally agree with you. Every time that I need to go to a concert, I need to go to São Paulo, Rio, depending on the concert. So because of this, I think I would like to live in a bigger city, because we have more opportunities. And not just thinking about concerts, if you think other kinds of events, for example, just happen in a bigger cities, So, yeah. Here in Guarujá, we have just one theater. It's not so common because this theater spent a lot of years closed, in reform. I don't know how to say that, but nowadays have some things there happening. But I believe the best ones is always in São Paulo, right? So museums, this kind of things. I just think about that.
It's nice. São Paulo for museums, concerts, it's nice. We have a lot of opportunity in the same weekends every time. It's totally different.
Yeah.
I love go to São Paulo for this. When I go to São Paulo, I love stay with my family in a museums, go to a theater and do different, because for us in Vitória, we don't have this kind of opportunity.
Yeah.
Interesting for this. And for you, Genemius, what are some cultural opportunities and events that are more common in the big cities? Your mood.
Oh, sorry. I agree with about the great opportunities is in encounter on big cities. It's different. We had cinema, we have theater, but the frequency for great shows is more different compared than Campina Grande is a big city nearby my house, or João Pessoa, Fortaleza. Is different. It's different.
It's totally different. Thank you, Janems. And for you, Lorian?
Yes, I agree about the festivals. And I need to say that I live in Belo Horizonte, and we have a lot of festivals, but the small ones, the concerts too. But when the big artists came to Brazil, and always they came to São Paulo or Rio, or maybe São Paulo and Rio, and maybe if they need to choose other cities to go, they go in one city in the north, another in the south, and Brasilia maybe, and Belo Horizonte and Espírito Santo, of course. There always is like no, because we are so close to São Paulo and Rio. Maybe they think, if these cities want to go, they need to go to São Paulo and Rio. So, and Belo Horizonte is a big capital too. Minas Gerais is a big state. But anyway, so I lose some opportunities because of that. I never went to a Rock in Rio, like Lollapalooza, these kind of things, because it's not because I don't like, it's not a priority. But another artist, that I like, sometimes I just think, oh my God, so far right now, I cannot go. And but it's the concert, all the concerts and the festivals. I really like the other day, I think 3 weeks ago, we have a big neighborhood here in Belo Horizonte. The name is Mangabeiras, with a big park, and there is a swimming pool like inside. The house of the government, and they did a party there, right? A kind of festival, sunset one, just really nice vibes. And I know I have this opportunity because Belo Horizonte is the capital. If I live in a small one, I think the cultural opportunity is not too big. It's more down. So it's more about that. But maybe you can choose to live in a small town that you can go in the big cities like easily, like in 1 hour and in 1 hour and a half, and problem solved. And that's it. I really like to go to festivals and concerts, cultural things in general. It's a big part of my life right now.
I think we don't have more time for more work, one question, because everyone needs to spoke more. But I think this topic is so interesting for discuss, because everyone sometimes have a different opinion about this topic. For me, it's so interesting. Guys, I need to put the survey on the chat. 1 minute. I say thank you for staying here with me, because Saturday 7 a.m. it's not easy for wake up. And I say thank you for staying here, and for everyone, have a good weekend. Bye bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.